Move, the Karnataka cabinet has now approved a proposal to increase minority reservation in state housing schemes from 10 to 15%. What this basically means is that all urban and rural development department housing schemes across Karnataka will be covered under this updated policy. The Karnataka government has confirmed that the quota includes Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs and Parsis with no internal categorization. Now, this minority housing quota is relatively new. It was introduced in 2017 under the Congress-JDS coalition government, and a cabinet subcommittee backed the proposal, which was later approved by the then Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy. That marked the first time Karnataka formally set aside a quota for minorities in housing schemes. When the BJP came to power in 2020, they asked for a legal opinion but did not withdraw the policy. Now, cut to 25. And the Siddaramaiah-led government has decided to raise this quota by 5%, sparking a fresh round. Now, while this is a state-level initiative, the Karnataka government is defending its decision by citing central guidelines and reports like the 2006 Sachar Committee Report that flagged socio-economic backwardness among minorities, including the lack of proper housing. The Congress government hence argues that it is only acting within the policy guidelines and is ensuring that the most backward, which is the minorities, get adequate housing. The key point is this: there is no central law, constitutional mandate or notification that requires or enforces minority-based reservations in housing schemes. These are only policy recommendations and not legally binding. The opposition is also claiming, in fact, the Congress is also claiming that the central government allocates nearly 15% housing quota for minorities in its own schemes. But the BJP and the JDS say that this is only vote bank politics, and especially comes at a time when the Karnataka government is under attack for a slew of charges against them for mismanaging the state's finances, corruption in the allocation of resources, and of course the blowback that it received because of the stampede outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Congress is the modern day representation of Muslim League. It is behaving like Jinnah, who divided India on communal lines. Same thing Congress is doing. They have once said that the first right of resources of this country belongs to Muslims. They have taken away SC, ST, OBC reservations and given it to the Muslim community on religious lines, which is against Ambedkarji and against the constitution. They have given reservation to Muslims in civil contracts also, which is against the constitutional spirit. And now also they are doing this only to rub salt into the wounds of the Hindu community. For them, Hindus don't matter. They want to only and only play divide and rule. And this kind of thing is against the constitution.
I am least bothered about any other BJP leaders calling or anything. They created hateness and they will try to divide the society. We always try to unite the society. See, there is a Sachar Committee Report which tells that 15% of the reservation should be given on welfare schemes to minorities. Earlier in the central government had appointed a committee and it is there. Now we have in various schemes we had given 10% of houses reservation to them.
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, for appeasing minorities, will stoop to any level, and has proved on many occasions. Even on this aspect also, when BJP had already opposed 10% reservation, again increasing by another 5% was not required at all, and it's totally unconstitutional. Congress leaders, including Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, repeatedly claim they are champions of Dalits. They believe in Baba Sahib Ambedkar's ideology, but this is not what people expect from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah.
And that brings us to the questions for the day. Is the Congress pushing for religion-based quotas without any legal backing? And just like Mamata Banerjee's government did quota allocation that was eventually struck down by the Calcutta High Court, will the Siddaramaiah government's order also face the same fate? And is this really minority appeasement as is being alleged. Nizam Faujdar, General Secretary and spokesperson of the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee, joins us along with Vijay Prashad, spokesperson of the BJP in Karnataka, and Ramkrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist, is also with us. I want to actually start with you, Mr. Prasad. It's been around for almost 8 years now. What is the problem? They're just saying that we are hiking something that already existed. And incidentally, Mr. Kumaraswamy is a good friend of yours now.
Okay. Very good evening, Padmaja. See, the Congress government in Karnataka has brazenly communalized welfare by turning housing rights into a tool of minority appeasement. Okay. By increasing the quota for religious minorities from 10% to 15% in housing schemes, they are not empowering the poor. They are dividing the society on religious lines in open defiance of the Constitution and Supreme Court rulings. Okay. See, time and again, we have seen Congress holding the Constitution book, the red book. Okay. Rahul Gandhi waves it, Shiv Kumar waves it, Nizam Fauzdar waves it, Priyank Kharge waves it, and at the end of the day, what they do is they completely under the defiance of the Constitution. The welfare is meant for the poor, not for pleasing the vote bank politics. Article 15 of the Constitution clearly prohibits discrimination solely on the basis of religion. Yet the Congress is reducing the social justice to political appeasement, political opportunism. See, this is not social justice, it is a selective injustice. This is not upliftment, it is appeasement. It is not governance, it is vote bank corruptions in the name of welfare. So, what it can be done? So, the BJP will fight this dangerous distribution both politically and legally and see, stand with every poor citizen regardless of the caste and religion.
Okay, Mr. Faujdar is quite amused at how incensed you are at this. Why, Mr. Faujdar? Why are you laughing?
No, Padmaja, the way BJP is basically creating this narrative is very hilarious. Let me start with Vijendra was saying this is unconstitutional.
I'm not Vijendra, sir, I'm Vijay.
Let me start.
I'm Vijay.
No, Vijay, I know Vijay. I'm speaking to the Padmaja who is...
No, we had just played out the statement of Mr. Vijendra earlier. Yes.
Vijendra, right? Yeah. He's saying this is unconstitutional. Now, let me enlighten the BJP friends. Article 14 gives the guarantee of equality before, the law from various sectors across the life, right? When it comes to Article 15.1 and 15.2, prohibits discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, age, sex, and everything. And the BJP basically defeats this tenet of the Constitution, and they blame Congress for saying that. Let me tell you, the reservation in the Karnataka for the housing, and the central government issues a notification, a directive saying that the housing distribution for the minorities is inadequate. Basis on that. Let me also come back.
So you're saying that the centre asked you to correct the anomaly?
Yes. No. It has a directive. It has a directive across the country.
Let Vijay Prashad answer that. They're doing it on the centre's instructions. They've thrown the ball in your court, Mr. Prashad. Yeah.
No. Padmaja, see, this is the foolhardy which Congress is trying to play around the minds of the people. Let me quote two sections of the Constitution.
Who has got the IT cell? Who has got the fake factory? Vijay, come on. I think you should be fair enough to what you say.
Nizam, let me answer.
Let me counter you.
Okay, let him answer your specific point. There is a central guideline. Answer that, yes.
Let me counter. I will quote two sections of the Constitution. Article 15.4. It says, special provisions for socially and educationally backward classes based on criteria other religion. Article 16.4, reservation in public employment for backward classes are not adequately represented, but again not religion based. It says, the Constitution clearly says, does not allow reservation solely on the basis of religion. Period. I will quote you couple of set rules, clear cases where the religion, the quota based on religion is not tenable. Okay, let me quote. State of Kerala versus N.M. Thomas. TMA Pi Foundation
No,
versus
come to the
State of
Karnataka. Please come
Ashok
to
Kumar,
Karnataka. You
Ashok
don't
Kumar
use-
Thakur versus
don't
Union
use
of India,
across-
2008. Indira Sane versus Union of India, 1992. Okay, these are the set
It doesn't work
cases
that way.
where
It doesn't
Padmaja-
work that
it-
way,
it
Vijay.
clearly says,
Vijay, it doesn't work
as
that
a,
way.
The sole
Let me
criteria
give you-
violates
Vijay, let me
Article
enlighten
14.
Mr. Upadhyay, this has always been a very, very
I don't have
contentious
to-
issue, and I
no,
remember
Vijay,
how
I
it
don't
has
have to
become
be
a huge talking point ahead of the Lok Sabha election.
We will be the last person to get enlightened from Congress.
Okay, will the
Don't give us about
15%
don't give
high
comments about the
housing
constitution,
quota run
Nizam.
into legal trouble? Do you think that there is a real legal impediment to this scheme of the Karnataka government?
Padmaja, this is a brazenly appeasement politics being played by the Siddaramaiah government. We have seen it from day one. In fact, the budget presented in March also, we have seen they have allotted more than 3,400 crores for the minority welfare, which is beyond 50% of what it was earlier. So, this has been going on under the Siddaramaiah government. And now to say that we are allotting this house which nobody is ready to take up, there are lots of houses laying vacant, and that's how we are giving it to minorities. But if there are no takers, why only to minorities? Why don't you open it to everybody, every poor person who is willing to go there? So why only minorities? And on top of that, HK Patil says, we are doing it in line with the direction given by the central government. This is a blatant lie. Where is the direction given by the central government? In what context? Where have they said that you can give 15% to minorities? I mean, this kind of lies, shouldn't come from the, the ministers in the government. Yes. So this is obviously they're trying to, appease the Muslim minorities, and this is not going to stand in the court of law because you can't give reservation in the name of religion. That is very much evident in the constitution. So how is that, this government goes on doing this kind of a thing? They also give, 4% reservation in contracts. And on top of this now comes, this housing allotment. And I think, people will not tolerate.
Mr. Fauzdar, and a lot is being wondered about the timing of this, considering that you have got your infighting within the party about the chief minister's post. You've got the controversy after the stampede outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Your entire leadership was summoned to Delhi. A fresh caste census was ordered and was said, do it on the Telangana model so that people are mollified. Is this another such step in that direction? You think people are upset and now you want to do something to at least, soothe some frayed nerves. Mr. Fauzdar.
No, Padmaja, let BJP say that they will say they are against Muslims. That's fine. That's their narrative. Can the BJP keep their hand on the heart?
Listen,
Vijay,
we are against the Muslims.
Listen, you are willing. That's the reason we are having this debate. That is the reason we are having this debate. You are against Muslims. You are against anybody who is in the. Let's keep that aside.
Mr. Fauzdar, very respectfully, actually, it is the Constitution that says there should be no religion-based reservation.
Let me answer
and the
your
Constitution,
question.
you would not argue, is anti-Muslim or anti-anyone else. We're just going by the law.
Let me answer the question.
Yes.
Let me answer the question.
Yes.
I want some undivided time for me, right?
Yes,
Let
please.
me just ask the simple question. Okay, let them say if this minority appeasement, let them say that they are against Jains. Let them say that they don't want these rights to be given to the Buddhists. Let them say that they are not in the favor of the
Sikhs
Sikhs.
and
Let them
Parsis.
say that
It's
Let them
quite
say that
indicated that you can't even remember the other minorities, but that's
Vijay,
okay.
hold on. Vijay, hold on.
Padmaja.
In 2019, when H.D. Kumaraswamy was the chief minister, he passed this. He said, let me come again and say, it was approvals of the law saying that it needs to be given at 15% across the taluk level. And it is the same Kumaraswamy who is questioning the reservation and saying that this is wrong because he's sitting in the lap of the BJP and saying this is wrong.
Answer that, Mr. Prasad. When Mr. Kumaraswamy was with them, then he brought in this law. Today he is your ally. Today he is your minister. What do you make of his logic?
No.
Yeah,
Is he doing Muslim appeasement?
Padmaja.
Itna jhoot. क्यों इतना झूठ बोलते हो भाई?
Okay, yes,
इतना
Vijay
जहर
Prashad.
क्यों उगलते हो?
No.
Why do you want to spew so much of venom?
That's
Come
okay.
on, yeah,
Keep
let's
quiet,
live in peace and harmony.
That's okay. Nizam,
Let us live in peace and harmony.
Okay,
Why do you want to
you've had your say,
come
sir.
on?
Okay. When it comes
Come on,
to
Vijay. I appeal you. Come
minority,
on.
Okay,
It's
you know, it is
ongoing.
interesting. Hold on a second. We have to see the political posturing here. Vijay Prashad, essentially the Congress is throwing down the gauntlet and saying, are you opposing giving of housing to other minorities like Jains, Parsis, Sikhs? You have to come on record and say that.
No. Let me come back. Okay. When it comes to minorities, for Congress, only one community comes into their
That is your
mind.
assumption, yeah. Why should I work
That
on
is
your
Muslim.
assumption?
Okay. Just keep quiet,
Vijay,
yeah.
I
Just keep
can't
quiet.
work on your assumption.
One at a time.
I can't answer on your assumption. I can't answer on the assumptions of Vijendra. I cannot. We are working on in the favor of the social justice.
Okay, fair, sir. Social justice, we've heard you out. Now, no interruptions. Please, no interruptions.
No.
Padmaja, how can I debate on his assumption?
You have given me time and I need to speak. I need to speak.
We are not debating assumptions. We are debating a fact about Mr. Kumaraswamy. You raised the point. Now let him answer. Please, let's not have heckling. Yes, Kumaraswamy.
Padmaja, see, as I told, when it comes to minority, Congress gets only one community in the front of the race, that is only Muslims. Having said that, when it comes to the housing project, okay, now they are giving 15% here to the Muslims, which we totally opposite, because religion-based quota is not acceptable, and it is the Supreme Court has clearly laid down it. That is one thing. On the other hand, this Congress has gotten into corruption mode with the same Muslims appeasement.
40% Sarkar is telling us.
The Congress, this shameless Congress, they have gotten into their own MLA. Their own MLA,
Terminal 1 in Delhi
has accused
Please speak about the Air India
Zamir Ahmad Khan
You
for
are
the
not-
corruption in granting the houses for the poor. They are collecting bribes to sanction housing for the poor. This is the kind of duplicity.
This is your assumption again.
This
is your assumption. Your assumptions cannot be treated with cognizance.
Bullshit.
Your assumptions have no value.
This is totally acceptable.
BJP's assumptions cannot be taken with face value. You are a Jumla party. Bharatiya Jumla party can throw anything on the ground.
Muslims for the ride. They are taking bribes.
Why are you against Muslims? Why are you against Christians? Why are you against Muslims?
No, there is no assumption here. I think we need to give a little bit of background to the people watching right now. So just a second. The case he is referring to is, of course, the leaked conversation that B.R. Patil is having with your minister, Zamir Ahmad Khan's secretary, where he is saying that money is being taken from poor people, and this is on record. This is a clip now that has been leaked. It is not an assumption. Where he is alleging that is your MLA's allegation that money is being taken from poor people to give them houses.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, answer that. Because if you are indeed giving...
Vijay doesn't want answer. Let me answer you. Padmaja, if Vijay keeps quiet and stops lying, I will answer that.
Okay, answer it. Answer it, then I will go to Mr. Upadhyay.
I am going on record saying that your own MLA, the BR Patil has accused Zamir Ahmad.
Mumbai took 40%.
What action are you taking?
Mumbai took 40%.
Zamir Ahmad, sir, you are in the government for the last
Okay, wait. Before Mr. Fauzdar responds, Mr. Upadhyay also wants to come in. Mr. Upadhyay.
Yeah,
I want to make
Just a second, sir. Just a second. Mr. Fauzdar, please. Can we have one person at a time? Yes. Mr. Upadhyay.
When they talk about 15% reservation for all minorities, where are the other minorities in Karnataka? Are they Sikhs? Are they Buddhists? Only 1% Christians are there. Rest of them are Muslims. So it's pretty obvious that it is all aimed at appeasing the Muslims. So why don't they accept that fact? I mean, there's no point in beating about the bush. This is the reality. And then, when you talk about, appeasing the Muslims, you saw what happened during the, Waqf board controversy. When the whole issue came up, Zamir Ahmad went around the districts bullying the DCs, saying that, you allot the land in the name of work properties. You call it the work properties. The land belonging to the government or even private persons. So this is what is happening in Karnataka, and this is the reality. And the Congress spokesperson keeps saying that it is there in the constitution. Where is it in the constitution? The constitution doesn't talk about reservation being given in the name of religion. He should understand that.
Okay, Mr. Fauzdar, there you have all your facts. You kept saying minorities. There, Mr. Upadhyay is saying basically you only have 1% of the others. It is essentially Muslims that you are reaching out to.
Never read Article 15(4).
Vijay, where are you are an alumni of Cisco.
Okay, Mr. Prasad, you have fired so many questions at the Congress. At least give him 2 minutes of undivided time to answer. Hold on a second, sir. Please. Let's not have a shouting match.
They only want ruckus.
No, nobody wants a ruckus. So 2 specific questions have been asked of you.
Yeah.
One, that essentially you are trying to woo Muslims, because when it comes to the other minorities in this particular category, there is barely a fraction of the other communities represented. It's essentially Muslims you are reaching out to. And 2, that in the allocation of houses to the poor, your own MLA, Mr. Patil, is alleging large-scale corruption. Then what is this social justice you're talking about?
Okay. Now let me ask you a simple question. The reservation is spread across the various castes. It could be SC, ST, it could be OBC, it could be various sections of the society. It could be either on EWS. Now, the entire, apart from Muslims, everybody belongs. Apart from the 7 minorities, everybody in India belong to one religion. That's Hinduism, right? Now, when you are saying all the reservation goes to one religion, and some small 1%, 2% goes to another minority who is deprived, why are you having so much of animosity against such small people? What happiness do you get to do this?
This is purely
what is that? No, listen,
yeah.
Vijay, you got to keep quiet. You cannot answer the questions that I have. My political lineage unquestionable, and I will question your intention. I will question the way you implement it. Vijay, listen to me. Vijay, you want to listen. You don't want to listen. Your
Okay, just because you said that you want to have equity for all the minorities in Karnataka and not just targeted at Muslims, I just want to give you a little bit of data according to the 2011 census, Mr. Fauzdar. And I think everyone watching also deserves to know. Just a second, sir. 13% of your state's population, 13% of your state's population is Muslim. As opposed to, in absolute numbers, there are 443 Parsis. Not percentage, in absolute numbers, there are 443 Parsis living in all of Karnataka. And when it comes to Sikhs, there are 28,773. Now, did you ask these 28,773 Sikhs whether they want your empty houses to be given to them, or the 400 Parsis who are living there, or the 13% that Mr. Upadhyay was referring to? And you still haven't addressed the corruption issue. You talk about social justice in housing, but your MLA is talking about corruption.
How many Christians? Are there in Karnataka?
I said that homework also I have to do. Okay, I will tell you about Christians.
Yesterday in Mandia.
Tell me how many Christians.
Okay, how many Christians, Mr. Upadhyay? Tell how many Christians. Are there more than 443 Christians? Maybe the Congress wants to give Christians these houses.
No, there are quite a few. I think 1.2%.
1.2%, sir. 13% Muslims, 1.2% Christians.
We have Christians.
My God, they are so unaware of the numbers. My goodness, these are the people who are talking of policy. Assuming.
But one at a time, Mr. Fauzdar, you can't keep heckling everyone. Okay, can I please request everyone to be silent except Mr. Upadhyay? Yes.
Now, I want to bring out another fact. In March, there was an assembly session where Mr. Zamir Ahmad, who happens to be the housing minister, told the assembly in writing, I mean, it's a written question. He said the Karnataka Housing Board, which is the main, institution which builds houses, has built 14 houses and 120 flats in the last 2 years. This is all that it has done because there is no money. Because all the money is going towards freebies. So 5 guarantees have taken up all the money, and the KHB has not been given any funds in the last 2 years. So there are hardly any houses. What they're talking about now is the old houses which are lying vacant for 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, which are in a dilapidated state. These are being distributed to people who want to, just come and occupy. I mean, they're treating minorities as beggars. So this Congress government wants to give to the minorities, as beggars. Okay, it's open. Why don't you just come and take it?
Vijay Prashad.
To keep the minorities. I want to ask the Congress
couple of things on Congress, Padmaja. Let me give you. Then I will take only 10 seconds. Congress loots the poor, labels it as justice. Gar ka chor, wazir bhi wahi. Raja chor, mantri sipai. From reservation to extortion, Congress true social justice model. See, BJP stands for rights of all, not religion. Okay. Here, Congress is giving back. Congress thinks it is the give back time for all the Muslims, for all the Muslims, for their vote bank politics, appeasement. This is what they are doing.
Okay, now let Mr. Fauzdar answer.
Can Congress tell me why they have ignored SCs, OBCs and EWS? Or it is a backdoor dilution of constitutional reservation betraying
my God.
Okay, now give him time to answer. Give him time to answer.
Article 15.4 and
They
15.4.
will not allow me to speak. Let me tell you, they will not allow me to speak because they don't want the answer.
Because
Sir, in the time that you are getting, you are spending half of it laughing, Mr. Fauzdar. Answer the question. Answer the specific question, sir. Answer the specific question. Answer.
Let me answer. There are about 11.43 lakh Christians on a overall, on a rough figure, 11.43 lakh Christians in Karnataka. Are you saying we will ignore everybody from Christianity? We will ignore everybody from Buddhism? We will ignore everybody from Jain? We will ignore everybody? At the same time, you know what Mr. Vijay says? Look at the way he's saying SC, ST, EWS. There is already fixed quota for them, Mr. Vijay. You don't understand. You are the same people who oppose reservations to the SCs and STs. And you are asking about, the reservation to us.
No,
you are asking about
we are not.
Congress
Sir,
party.
Come
on, you got to be kidding. You cannot do politics.
Mr. Fauzdar, I see that you have still evaded answering the question about your MLA saying there is corruption in giving houses to the poor. And this is your MLA saying.
There is no. If anybody who has
Padmaja, can
just a second,
They don't want me to answer.
Now on this show,
They don't want me to answer.
Why Siddaramaiya is silent when his own party planning commission member is crying foul?
Okay, the more you interrupt, the easier it is for Mr. Fauzdar to get away from answering that rather uncomfortable question. I have to say, though, it is impressive that you knew the number of Christians, Mr. Fauzdar, which is about 11.8 lakhs. But you omitted mentioning that there are close to 80 lakh Muslims also in Karnataka, and you can imagine what a sizable population it is in election time. Which way this turns out, and more importantly, will it stand legal scrutiny? Now that should be and will be our focus for the time being. All gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us. Time for a quick break.
This is the tribe of your dreams.
You and I, we are dreamers. You and I, we are believers.
Introducing the all-new Quota Kailak. Own your dream.
Skoda. In this world, there are a number of gender.
What determines whether I am male or whether I am female?
When the child is growing up, it's also interacting with the complex environment around.
The child is still exploring.
That is what is called gender identity to start with.
Sexual orientation is simply sexual preference.
$2.5 lakh strong legacy and counting. Join the big league with the XUV 700 with celebratory offers up to Rs 75,000.
This is India's #1 news network. And you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
Welcome back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this digitally dependent lives that we are living, data becomes the key to breach your privacy. If you've ever logged into anything online, your information stands a chance to be leaked and your account may get hacked. But what if I tell you that 16 billion passwords have already been leaked since the beginning of 2025? Yes, it is the largest ever data breach that we are talking about. The passwords have been leaked from tech giants like Apple, Google, Telegram, and many other popular platforms, including government portals and major online services. With 5.5 billion people having internet access globally, the breach potentially affects multiple accounts per person. An investigating team found out that 30 separate data dumps, each containing anywhere from tens of millions to over 3.5 billion records, now lie as a mysterious database. But how did this breach exactly take place? While cybersecurity is a technical challenge that we are staring at, the method used shows how each record typically followed a standard format: website URL, username, and password. And this structure matches the collection methods used by InfoStealer malware, which is a malicious software designed to harvest sensitive information from infected devices. Most of the stolen information is formatted as simple URL links followed by usernames and passwords. Now, what is exactly the impact of this breach is not known, but the data stolen from your login credentials can jeopardize your digital safety and leave you vulnerable against phishing attack, account takeover, identity theft, intellectual property theft, extortion, and many such cyber crimes. There is a fear that looms large over online identities that all of us actively work with. While cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, can the government and the tech giants be absolved of their responsibility? That is the question we will be putting across to our guest this evening. I'm joined by Kanishk Gaur, who is a data privacy and cybersecurity expert. Mr. Gaur, thank you for taking your time and joining us over here at News9. What we are looking at is perhaps the largest data breach. Now, this is not the first time there has been a data leak or a data breach, but 16 billion, the sheer magnitude is alarming. And today we are going to name these tech giants. It is the Apple, Facebook, Google, Telegram, and despite the sophisticated password protection, what explains this breach, Mr. Gaur?
See, cyber criminals continuously work in looking at methods, techniques, tactics, and procedures to compromise user data. Now, what we have seen is an attempt where through social engineering, phishing, and other means, the data has been breached from various tech giants and platforms. So what is required now is new methods through which the data which has been compromised can't be used again for getting into other people's accounts. So what you require is larger multi-factor authentication, biometric security, new methods of verifying identity. Now this could be OTP-based verification, it could be FaceTime-based verification, it could be verification that has to be included. Now, what we have seen so far is that a lot of times when we log into portals, there is no second factor authentication or third factor authentication. It is just you put in the password. There is no way to validate whether the password has been put by you or by any third party. Now, that is one of the key reasons that the passwords which get compromised are used to get into multiple accounts. So, as a best practice, it is strongly needed that some of these tech giants enforce multiple level of security, whether it is Apple, Google, Telegram. They have started it now, but the key thing is it happened after a long time. So the other part is complexity of passwords. So people keep very simple plain passwords, which is their date of birth, which is a combination of their first name or last name. Now all of this needs to be made much more complex. You need to have passwords which are strong, which have certain key parameters which makes it difficult for hackers to brute force them. So that is something which is the key. Now, globally, we have seen that there has been a large number of cyber attacks which are happening, and cyber criminals are using some of these means to get into organizations. That's why putting in new security measures is extremely important. Password management solutions have to be implemented across big tech companies as well, so that even if certain data is leaked on the dark web, that data can't be used to get into the user's account.
Mr. Gore, it's very conveniently said that the government also promotes online transactions. They want us to take to online portals to try and make life easier. But what we're given to understand is that even popularly used websites and social media sites have become the areas of concern over here, including government portals. So while we are seeing a lot of promotions for these tech giants and the government portal social media sites, what are the safeguards that are being provided? Because clearly a user is oblivious to what fears lies ahead.
See, sir, there are certain basic security measures when the websites are set up. Those websites needs to have HTTPS, which is the additional secure socket layer, which prevents the websites from getting hacked. Now, a lot of new websites, which are even government portals which are set up, don't have this secure socket layer set up. So the passwords can be brute forced. The applications can be used to infect malware. That's why it plays a very, very important role to have secure socket layer. The second part is the email has certain security configurations. These are called the DMARC and SPF records. If your DMARC and SPF records for an organization are not correctly set, then one can appear as the managing director, the CEO, or whoever of the company and send out emails to the employees of the company or third parties or even users. If the users won't realize the mail has come from a cyber criminal or it has come from the CEO of the company. That's why the DMARC, SPF and DKIM records, these are basics. Now, if I look at some of the research that I have done in this country, I have found out more than 60 to 70% of Indian companies, even government organizations, don't have their DMARC, DKIM and SPF records set up correctly. So people receive emails in the name of their CEO and end up losing their passwords, end up losing their identity, even losing the control of their accounts. That is one of the biggest issues that we are seeing in India right now.
Well, that's a very interesting thing you've mentioned over there, Mr. Gore, and also something that concerns all of us. It's a worry if 60 to 70%, like you're mentioning, do not have the statute demarks in place. It leads to some sort of a breach or some sort of a hack that we all may be vulnerable to. But like I would like to quote, the researchers say that there are 184 million records sitting unprotected on a web server. But I want to ask you, how can this mysterious database be misused, because it does pose a risk of mass exploitation?
See, the accounts can be used for sending emails to other people and then luring into clicking on malicious links or placing ads of selling them certain Amazon web services or certain vouchers. If you receive the email from your friend to click and saying that he's sending you Amazon vouchers or any other kind of vouchers, your systems could get infected, or it could be used for perpetrating cybercrime. It could be used at a mass level for cyber fraud activity, because these email accounts can be used for sending link to their contacts. Now, the other aspect is a key concept called as password harvesting. Now, when you harvest a lot of passwords, you can use it for guessing passwords of people, even if they have changed. So when you harvest these passwords, you can use certain algorithms for letting new passwords be known to you, because you have a large history of passwords which a person has kept in the past. Because the way people think is, the human brain would keep passwords in a very similar way. The structure won't change. The password will change, but the structure won't change. Now, when you start using computer-based algorithm or use certain sophisticated tools, you could actually use for hacking into other people's account, and it could lead to mass hacking in the country. Now, that is not just a risk to an individual, it is a risk to national security, because you can get into public databases, you can get into administrative accounts. So your digital public infrastructure in the country, which is your Aadhaar, UPI, BHIM, GSTN services, can also be compromised, which can lead to a large scale failure of the digital identity infrastructure, the DPI, which is being created in the country. So it is not just a risk to an individual, it is risk to the government, it is also a risk to the larger functioning of the economy.
Now, that's a very worrisome thing that you've mentioned over there, that it's not just an individual but a larger conglomerate or a government that may lie at a risk of it. In a layman's term, Mr. Gaur, I will ask you a simple question. For someone who doesn't understand so many complicated, jargons pertaining to cybersecurity, is the social media space safe for any individual for transactions? Because clearly what we are looking at right now may happen again in future. So what exactly can we use? Are there firewalls that can possibly protect our data online? Because a lot of us have pretty much our entire life out on social media.
See, the first and foremost thing is that you need to keep your social media accounts private. So if you've got an Instagram or a Facebook account, instead of showcasing all your photos to everyone in the world, you should keep them private, that your pictures are only visible to your friends, your family, or to the people who you are connected. Because your pictures are then downloaded and then used for sending social engineering or phishing links to your friends. So if your friends' photos are visible, your photos are visible, a hacker can find out. He will use open source intelligence tool to get your mobile number and create a fake WhatsApp DP of yours and try contacting your friends when you are unavailable. So first and foremost is to ensure that your social media accounts are private in nature. Any of your pictures which are there, they haven't been put out. The second key thing is you may have to have multi-factor authentication, which is enabled when you are trying to do transactions. That's really important. The third key element is when you are trying to use social media messaging platform for doing online payments, you must have an account where you have various levels of security authentication which is enabled. Otherwise, if someone gets your phone or knows the kind of combination that you're using, then they can compromise your UPI or digital payments. The third element which I would always advise people is to keep your passwords complex. Don't use your date of birth. Don't use your child's date of birth or your family member's date of birth combination when you're trying to create the PIN. Keep on changing the PIN and the passwords in 15 days or in a month and keep the complexity really high and use certain tools which can help you find out if your password has been breached. Now, Google tells you if your password is breached, but there are always open source tools which can help you identify if your password is already compromised. So as soon as you get a notification that your password has been compromised by any of the platforms that you're using, change your password immediately and try and keep a new combination which is much more complex and it is not linked to your name, your last name, your school you went to, your date of birth, but something else, or even your address. Those are certain basic things. And don't go and click on websites which are insecure websites, because they also have an ability to infect any kind of adware or malware which is there.
Mr. Gaur, all of us who are watching this show right now, or you and me, we all have gone through this process while creating passwords of having one capital letter, then some special character followed by some numericals. Now, this is exactly the prompt that we get each time around. We want to change a password at any given websites. Are you trying to say this is not enough? Also, we are living at a time of where artificial intelligence is at play. We are already faced with the fear of how our identities or people can impersonate us. What now we are looking at is where 16 billion login IDs have been hacked into, have been breached. For somebody who is active on social media, do you feel that the government should carry out some sense of awareness programs? Because you and I are here in this discussion, not a lot of people would be even aware about this.
The government is doing awareness programs already. One of the key things is when such hacks happen, people should go back and change their passwords and increase the complexity of the password. When you keep such passwords, obviously you use one letter, which is capital, or you use certain special characters. But what you need to do is, in those combinations, please don't use the combination of certain complexity which can be cracked by any kind of AI-based tool. With artificial intelligence coming in a big way, the sophistication of hackers have increased significantly, because the phishing mails which you get are such that they are written with perfect English. Very difficult to find out if it has been sent by the actual user or by a cyber criminal. So the English, the language in which these phishing mails come is such that it is so much more convincing, because with AI, it has made it more possible to have people social engineered on some of these aspects. With respect to government, I think in India, we need a larger program on cyber security where any kind of large cyber attack which happens, what are some of the advisories that could be issued by the government telling people how to keep themselves safe?
Right.
For example, this incident that has happened, there should be an advisory from the government that what a common man can do if his password has got compromised, or even an email informing that your password has been breached. Please do these 5 things which are required. Now, these are things that are not happening. You and I are discussing on the News9 platform on what should be done. But there should be a mass level advisory, and this is something what happens in the developed world.
Right, so that's exactly what I'm trying to say over here, Mr. Gaur, is that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility between the users, those who are the profile holders, then the tech giants who are providing the platform, and the government, who should ideally issue an advisory on cybersecurity. But till then, we will try to stay safe, and we would advise all of viewers to go back and change your passwords. Thank you so much, Mr. Kanish Gaur, who is a data privacy and cybersecurity expert, for taking your time and joining us here at News9. Now, shifting our focus to some other stories that we are tracking is where pro-Palestinian activists broke into a Royal Air Force base in central England, damaging and spraying red paint over 2 planes used for refueling and transportation.